So the sketch below shows a graph of a hyperbolic function and a straight line. Hyperbolic function, you are given variables a and q. Straight line, you are given -2, you are given -x minus 2, which is a straight line. So if you were to highlight, basically, this is your straight line, this one is the one which is represented by -2 minus x minus 2. Now, with this one here, we don't know what is q, but q represents what we call the asymptote. So whatever the value of the asymptote is, that is going to be our q. And then we also have the point. We also have this point which is -1 is to what? Is to 1. So let's go and check the first question. The first question says, tell us what is q. Ne? What did I say? Q is represented by what? What is the asymptote? Which value we cannot touch according to the hyperbolic function? So q should not be equal to -2. They will give us 1 mark for that. Q should not be equal to -2. Now, the point -1 is to 1 lies on F. Calculate the value of A. So we go to number 2. On number 2, we are told to this thing, it lies 4.2.1. We are given y, which, we are given f of x. F of x and y, they represent the same thing. It's a all over x minus 2, because I already know what is q. The value of q is equal to what? -2. Next, they say, then we should use this point. According to this point, x is, this represents x, and then this represents y. So what am I going to tell them? I'm going to tell them that when I see y here, I'm going to put 1. Then this is going to be equal to a all over. Instead of x, what am I going to put? -2. Take this -2 to this other side, it becomes positive. And then you have something like a 3. It says 3 is going to be equal to a all over -1. I multiply both sides by -1. If I multiply both sides by -1, I'm going to have a equal to -3. Then they will give you 1 mark for substituting the 1 and the -1. And then they will also give you 1 mark for saying a is equal to 2. So we say a is equal to -3. There's 2 marks for this thing. Next, determine the x coordinate of P and Q. Let's check what is happening at P and Q. There's a point of intersection. Who is intersecting with who? We have G, which is intersecting with what? With F. But remember, we already know what is the equation of G, of F. The equation of this thing here, we can tell them what it's y is equal to a, we got it as -3 all over x minus 2. We should say this one is going to be equal to this one. So we proceed and say -2 or -x minus 2 is going to be equal to -3 all over x minus 2. After that, we're going to take this -2 to this other side. It is negative. When it jumps the equal sign, it's going to become what? Then it says we have -x, which is going to be equal to -3 all over x. What should we do after that? We're going to cross multiply. If we cross multiply this one, it gives us -x squared, which is going to be -3. Divide by negative both sides. If you divide by -3 both sides, you get 3. If this thing is going to say x squared is going to be equal to 3. You then root both sides. If you say root and then you say root, it says x is going to be equal to plus and a minus. The square root has a plus and a minus. No? Yeah, plus and a minus square root of what? Of 3. Doesn't want to write, yeah. Plus and a minus, I'll write it here. X is going to be equal to plus and a minus square root of what? Of 3. Now, you can leave your answer here or you can write it as a decimal. Yes. Because they just said they wanted the x value. What do you get the square root of 3 into decimal places? X is equal to the positive 1. They're the same. It's just we have 1 positive, 1 negative. 1, 7, 3 on. Negative 1,73. Okay, last but not least, 4.1.4. The graph of H is obtained by reflecting F by the y-axis. Now, when you reflect something by the y-axis, in other words, here's what we mean. Here's what we mean. If a learner is said to reflect something by the y-axis is this line. Now, another way to say the same thing, look, they can say something like this. They can say, but we are reflecting this thing by the line x is equaling to 0. If I don't want to say is the y-axis, I can say is the line x is equaling to 0. Because on this line here, we know what is x. X is equal to what? To 0. So, if you are going to be reflecting something by the line, this thing here, you should think of it as it's your mirror. You know a mirror, yeah. What usually happens with a mirror? A mirror, whatever appears this side. If I say this is a mirror, and then I look at this graph here, this part here. If I look at this part here, whatever is appearing this side is also going to come and appear this side. Yeah? And then the other thing that the learner should remember is this. When you reflect something by the y-axis, the y is going to remain the same. Let's take this point, for example. You have -1:1. -1:1. If I reflect it by the y-axis, look at what is going to happen. This point here, the -1 is going to become +1 because it appears after the line. So when it appears this side is going to be what? To be 1. The 1 itself is not going to change, it's going to remain the same. So what changes if you reflect something by the y-axis? X, when it was positive, is going to become what? Negative. If it was negative, it's going to become what? Positive. So how is this thing going to look like then? Let's write the equation. The equation says y is equal to, you have -3 all over x -2. So we're reflecting it by the y-axis. If we are reflecting it by the y-axis, we just so much. What should change? Y or x? Which one should change? Y-axis. X should become negative. So if we make x to be negative, it means we are going to come and say, yeah, let's put a negative here. If we put a negative, now what's going to happen? Negative and negative are going to divide each other. And then what is going to be the equation is going to say 3 all over x -2. Then this is going to be a new equation. How do they give you marks for a new equation? They are going to give you a mark for putting minus here, 1 mark, and then for giving them the final answer. Or if you didn't put the negative here, you just gave them this, they're going to give you 2 marks on the final answer then.